Let me guess. You're tired of attracting tire kickers, people that are like interested in your content. They suck the life out of the content, but then they don't ever really buy from you. You see people looking at your stuff, but then they don't go from looking to actually buying. Then what happens is you put yourself in a scroll hole because we love to torture ourselves, and you look at other people in your industry or in your niche, and they are having great engagement, and then you make up a story that they're having great sales and that you're so far behind, none of your stuff is working, people must not be into it. What am I supposed to do? Should I quit? Is this ever going to work? And then you lower your vibration, your creativity is stifled, and then you're ending up with a big resentment towards your business, towards even your community, towards even the algorithms, because you have created an expectation. And this expectation likely is not based off hard facts. Most of the time, when we set expectations, they're based from our ass. From my ass. And that's a setup for future resentment because you're saying it's supposed to be this way. It should be this way based on like what I've seen from other people. Like, God, I should at least have this. Well, I am going to share with you the actual stats and facts so that you can hear what really is realistic. And we're going to get to the 4 things that you can do immediately that are going to, without a doubt, get more eyes on your stuff and qualified eyes, meaning people that will actually be eager and excited to buy from you as long as you follow my proven methodology and emotional based sales techniques and do the follow through. So let's go. It's happening. We're going to have a rish bish summer. Okay. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your abundance, your relationships, and everything in between. And today, we are going to get that cash flowing again, get people who actually will land on your page and see your content and have the reaction like, oh my God, I'm so happy I found you. Where have you been? I can't believe I didn't know that you existed. And this is a real thing because it's real. Because if it happens for me over here on a daily basis, there's no reason that it can't happen for you and your people. But we just got to move some things around. Okay. But we got to start with some straight up hard Tiff truth. Okay. Coach Tiff always brings it to you straight up because you can go and buy these programs and sign up for these things that are very elusive and make it seem so sexy and so easy, and you should just be posting and bringing all this money and this should just happen within a couple of months. That's called fantasy marketing. And you're probably at a point where you're so frustrated, overwhelmed, or even confused. Like you don't have the clarity on what it is you're supposed to specifically be doing. So you're just kind of trying a whole bunch of things and hoping something works. That's not a proven profitable business plan. So then you end up falling for some of this fantasy marketing stuff and only end up more and more frustrated because that stuff isn't working for you either. So I'm going to tell you exactly what will. None of this shit is basic. And you will notice none of this involves some hashtag situation or what time to post. Stop thinking that it's about that. I'm not saying there aren't little nuances that are kind of fun little hacks, to learn. That's not what's going to get you where you want to go, which is building your business, helping a crap ton of people while making a crap ton of money. Now, before I get into my first fact for you, which are the actual real average engagement rates on accounts, and I'm specifically going to be speaking to Meta accounts, so Instagram and Facebook, so that I can give you an example of how your expectations were so far off from reality so that you can regroup and go, okay, I actually do feel better now. Like, I know what's going to happen. You're going to email me, you're going to DM me, and you're going to go, oh my God, I actually have really good engagement. Now I have a problem of why aren't they converting? And my solution is this. You need to be in my ProjectME Posse business coaching membership. Period. End of story. If you are making less than $15,000 a month consecutively in your business, in your online business specifically, this is it for you. If you don't have an online arm of your business, but maybe you have a spa, or maybe you have a salon, maybe you're a realtor and you're wanting to drive more leads to that service-based business or physical business, this is also for you. All the information is on the page, Virgo style, word by word. Every single thing has been reviewed and nuanced by me. And here's what's really cool. So we have an annual option where you get 2 months for free. So this makes this resource $2 a day. This is not a membership where it's just like a whole bunch of videos that are self-paced. We have an incredible membership portal with well over 300 training videos from me and other special guest experts, but you also get weekly live trainings, and a majority of them are by yours truly. So what I've done is it's like, so when you go to buy a really nice gift for somebody, but it's too expensive, you know what I mean, for one person to buy. So you all pool your money together to buy someone that Louis Vuitton bag or that crystal vase or whatever it is. That's what you're doing in the membership. Because in order to get access to me, my intellectual property, my proven strategies, my techniques, and all of that, it's thousands and thousands of dollars. And you're getting it for $2 a day, basically, when you do the annual option. When you pick the annual option, you also get my Nail Your Niche Masterclass. It's a 2-hour masterclass. It also includes how to properly optimize your Instagram bio, which is a thing. It's legit and it really is important. And it's completely up to date. And that's included in there. So when I did that masterclass live, I think it was around like $500 people paid to be in it. And now that's available to you when you get the annual option. Plus, you get my content creation made easy course bundle with my fill in the blank post templates. You get to have my exact content planner that I use to this day, and hundreds of people are using. And that's also free when you join. Now, there is a month-to-month option because I know some of you are commitment phobes, or you're like, God, this sounds good, too good to be true. I want to test it out. And that's in there for you as well. We keep this membership capped at a certain size so that I can in integrity call it a business coaching membership, where it's a group coaching experience. So you're not going to see thousands and thousands of people in here. You're going to feel like you're in a high level group coaching program with the most amazing people. So you can swipe up, go inside the show notes, and so you can get into the posse. It's in the description here on YouTube, projectmewithtiffany.com/projectme posse. And if you aren't in this, I don't know what to tell you. There's a reason it's famous. There's a reason people have been members for years in this, even once they've far surpassed that $15,000 a month in their business marker, because the community and the collaboration, and then you share tips and resources, and it's incredible. Plus, we have a lot of fun and we give no fucks given. Okay. The average engagement rates are actually abysmal. We're talking 0.5 to 1% for most accounts. And even what is considered a good engagement rate is only 3%. That means 97% of your followers are scrolling past your stuff. So you can go and calculate your engagement rate and you will quickly go, oh my God, actually my engagement rate is on point. It's in zone. It's incredible. So you're delusional. And these are actual real numbers. I thought the same thing when I started. I was like, actually, I think my stuff's really good. And why isn't this growing faster? And why aren't there more people? And why isn't there more happening? Here's the other thing when it comes to this, and then we're going to get into the 4 actual tangible things that you're going to implement and see results immediately, is that your best content that is the most profitable and highest converting, it is often going to get the crappiest engagement. So in general, except for some anomalies, like if you happen to have a crossover where you have a profitable piece of content, this is what I teach inside the posse, one of several key things, and it also goes viral, that's what I mean by an anomaly. And universe, we welcome this. Okay. We welcome all of this, but that can't be a strategy. That can't be I'm manifesting and hoping that that's going to happen. And I'm going to keep trying to go viral. And that's my strategy. That's not a strategy. That would be like you having a stock portfolio and your only strategy in the stock portfolio is to constantly pick like short-term big winners. It's like, that's not going to end well for you. Okay. I promise you. You have to have a variance of what's going on, right? You need to make sure that you have a wide spread and solid proven strategy, and then allow yourself and set yourself up to be open and available for viral opportunities. So, for example, a lot of my carousel posts, even my video posts that I do, let's talk about Instagram in particular, they're not getting all the gazillions of shares and all the views that some of my like funny ones are doing, or aspirational content ones, or even empowering ones get. So when you're looking at other people and you're comparing, the content that's getting a lot are memes, funny stuff, empowering stuff, even inspirational stuff, even let's call it like it is, even like kind of sexy stuff or fantasy kind of marketing, pretty stuff. But that's not the stuff that converts. And we have to be very careful over here at ProjectME. And we have a team meeting every month to keep us on track, because we've fallen for it a few times where it's like, oh, we need to put out more content like this. People love Tiffany's, funny reels and stuff. And yet, while yes, the engagement is high, you'll actually see the dollars behind the scenes, if we're doing too much of it, start to go down. So that's hard facts. So don't judge your success and how your social media is working for your business based on vanity metrics. I want you to base it on conversions and sales and conversations that are happening that lead to sales. Okay. So the 4 things. Number 1, you need to regroup. We can do it right now today. We can do it together. You need to set a new boundary and new standards for your content. They've gotten sloppy. Things are off base. Things aren't working. Isn't this what you would do in a relationship? I had to move the screen here for those of you watching on YouTube. Isn't that what you would do in a relationship, in a friendship, even like in an area of your life, like maybe your own health, maybe in how you've been eating, maybe in your self-care routine? Something isn't working. Usually you have your boundaries have gotten soft, or you need to raise your standards and tighten things up. And here's what I mean by this. And I'm going to give you some examples of my boundaries. And my boundary is, if I wouldn't be excited to share that piece of content with someone, or have the feeling of, this is really damn good. Like, this is helpful. This is legit. Like, wow, this would have really helped the old Tiffany, or this would have really helped me at some point, where if it's like phoned in and basic, or if it's like, damn, this is legit, it's not approved. If you want to have a high amount of people coming into your audience, if you want to attract high quality people, if you want to attract buyers instead of people just wasting your time, you've got to set higher standards and boundaries for your content. And you might not like this. You're like, oh, that sounds so exhausting, because then I get into perfectionism, and then I don't know if it's good enough. Again, you can't be doing this stuff alone. If you're always just dependent alone on your own brain, yes, like even with the podcast, I'll get stuck in total perfectionism. I would re-record 1,000 times. You have to trust the feeling in your body of, no, this is really good. Like, the difference. It's not a matter of it has to be perfect. It's a matter of, is this shit solid, or is this shit basic? Am I regurgitating more stuff? Other boundaries are your consistency in posting. Are you a feast or faminer? Are you a zigzagger? Normally, what I see happen with people who come to me is they'll say nothing's working, the whole thing. Okay, and I hear it out. I get it. Okay, let's talk. Then I ask, tell me your posting schedule, because it's not about like posting more and doing more is going to get you more. That's the opposite of what I teach. I'm all about making more and working less. But I will tell you what the threshold is, and if you're not willing to do it, I'm going to be dead ass. Don't bother. Toe dipping in your business, toe dipping with something as important as content marketing. Content marketing should be the main way you generate leads and sales for your business. Period. End of story. Okay. And that includes if you have a podcast, if you have a blog, if you have an email. I'm talking digital marketing in general. And this should be like high priority over other things. If you are not willing to make a promise to yourself and stick with it of I'm going to give you what my promises are, okay? Because it obviously works, and I know you guys like hearing straight up numbers. You hate when people like just speak in general shit, and then it makes you just overthink more, and I totally agree, and I hate that shit, and we don't do that in the posse. We're not about that here. So on Instagram, it's 6 posts a week. Period. End of story. And they're like not basic. All right. So that's happening. 5 days a week of Instagram stories. And then Facebook there's definitely something there 6 days a week. Over on TikTok, 6 days a week. Pinterest is a different strategy, but I have a couple great trainings on Pinterest from my Pinterest manager in there, and she'll tell you what's worth it, like what's the threshold, or don't bother. YouTube, we have the podcast obviously goes up there twice a week, and then we have about 3 to 4 YouTube shorts for each of those episodes. And then emails, to nurture your email list, we send 1 a week. Sometimes we have 2, it depends. And then it's a whole different strategy when you're in a launch mode, when you have a sale, when you have a big offer. And I also teach that inside the posse with all the numbers and all the breakdown. So what's your actual boundary for yourself? And it's got to be non-negotiable. And I'm not saying like, oh my God, I had an unexpected death in my family, and I also have explosive diarrhea, and how am I supposed to do this? You're not going to like this either. I'm not saying there aren't an anomaly, and that's where your brain is going, is already trying to find an excuse not to do it. I've had people unexpectedly die. I've had major surgery. I've had my beloved baby, first bulldog, Molly, die suddenly. I could go on and on. I've had major PTSD flashbacks and heavy stuff happening. And guess what? I still show up because what I talk about and who I serve, I am so passionate about it. I care about it so much. I love it so much. It's cathartic for me to create the content and serve. It feels really good to be of service. And I'm not sitting here with this expectation of, oh, there better be tons of people who love this. Oh, this better go viral, because then you're just going to be resentful. So if you're not delighting in the content that you're creating, and I'm not saying you're going to feel like it on any given day. I mean, even me recording this right now, I'm in my podcast studio at the Calabasas house. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's perfect outside. The pool is perfectly heated. I want to be out there floating, right? But I am going to go out there and float for many hours. And my boundary is, and I do this first, right? I serve first, and you do that, you receive, you serve, and the sales come. You serve. But if you are going, okay, I've served for 3 weeks, Tiffany. Where are the people? Where are the people? Where is it? Why isn't it happening? No. Wow. That is ego, and that's not true service. So set new boundaries and standards for yourself and adhere to them and call yourself out with love. You got to own your part in it, because there is no way that you are having high standards and boundaries for your content on your various platforms, and you're doing it consecutively and you're not growing at all, and your engagement rate isn't at least 0.5%. I can tell you right now that's impossible. Okay. Number 2, you got to get wild. You got to mix it up and get wild. You've gotten stagnant and stale in your own content where you're kind of bored of it. Maybe you're kind of bored of the subject matter. Maybe you're bored of the exact type of content you're creating, the location that you're creating it in. You feel like you're talking about the same thing over and over again. So it's feeling like old news to you. And because it feels like old news to you energetically, it's off, and therefore it's repelling people. Even if you think you're faking it, it is. And I want you to stop looking for inspiration on content from people within your genre, people within your niche, people within your industry. Stop, 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 stop. If you want to stand out, then why would you be looking at what other people are doing in your space? That's just going to make you blend in. Stop it. Mute these accounts. I'm not saying you can't go look at those just to get like a pulse on like, oh, that's interesting, they're doing this, and a pulse in the industry, or people you support that you like. I mean, I have a lot of fellow business coaches and money experts and speakers who also follow me, and I follow them, and that's okay. But where you're going for inspiration, in fact, get analog, get the fuck off social media. Go actually walk around the rich person mall, as I call it. Go into some luxury stores. Get inspired by looking at some of your favorite clothing brands' content. Maybe even go hit up a newsstand or a Barnes and Noble and get some actual hard copy magazines and look at ads in that way. One of my favorite places that I send my clients is to Sephora. Any beauty store will do. But the best minds, creative geniuses are in the consumer packaged goods world, which my other company that I've had for 16 years, my digital marketing and branding agency that specializes in the healthcare medical space, but also consumer packaged goods, mostly like in dermatology, like lotions and potions and soaps and all that kind of stuff. It's all about the packaging. A lot of this stuff all has the same ingredients. I'm not saying there aren't some unique formulas, but it's about the packaging, the color, the fonts. Well, go get inspired by stuff like that. Where do you think these amazing clothing designers and the people that you see them wearing their stuff at like the Met Gala, these creative directors, they'll fly to India, they'll fly to Japan, they'll go to the Maldives, they'll go to Eastern Europe, they'll go look at really cool graffiti street art in Germany. They will go to all these different places to get inspirations of textiles and colors and vibes to infuse in their designs. Because if you are only keeping yourself in this enclosed box, in the exact house you're still in or apartment you're in, with the same people you hang out with the same places that you go all the time, with the same shit you eat, with the same stuff you follow, with the same stuff you watch on TV, how could you expect to get divinely and creatively inspired to be able to infuse something fresh, something different, something that's going to make you stand out? The reason you guys love my shit is I stand out. What makes me stand out? It's not necessarily visuals. And this, I want to give you this example because I know where your brains go. You're like, well, I don't have, I don't have a beach house and then like a luxury other house, Tiffany. I don't travel all over the world like you. I don't have that exciting of a life. Like, I don't have an aesthetic kitchen. I hear all the things. Okay. I get it. But I'm not talking about looks. Okay. Yes, you can do things. Some of you get really excited to change up your look. change up your hair, that's a vibe too, okay? But I'm not saying it has to be that. I'm talking about what makes me stand out is the fact that I serve it straight. I'm raw. I'm kind of thug, okay? Like from Chicago, like I'll go Chi-town on your ass. I am unconventional in how I explain things, but homegirl has the receipts and I show the receipts. If you've not seen my receipts highlight on Instagram, I highly recommend it. Because I show not just the glory side of the receipts. I also show you what real receipts look like in business, where some months are way down because you're pulling back the arrow, you're investing more in order to spring ahead. So that's what makes me different is I do something very different, show up in a different energy, explain things different. My personality is different from all these other people who teach, how to make money online. Okay? So you are unique in of yourself. Stop trying to blend in with other people in your industry feeling like they have the secret template. I just need to follow this. It's the opposite. I need you to not follow it so that you can stand the hell out. And that's what makes you polarizing. People don't want more of the same. They want something fresh and different. Number 3, I want you to test new formats and hook lines. You may have gotten in the same kind of pattern because we all can take the path of least resistance and get a little lazy. Maybe you have a lot of, heavy stuff going on in your life right now, or you're a little overwhelmed. And so it's like you do what comes easy to you, because when it comes to technology and creating content and doing all the things, it can be really exhausting keeping up with it. I just bought a vlogging camera so that I can have an upgraded experience for you guys over on ProjectME TV on YouTube. And if you're not subscribed over there, you need to. You can watch the show live, and it's rather entertaining to watch it live. And you can also comment live as I'm talking. And that helps keep your focus. It helps cement a lot of the information. And I read all the comments. So comment right now if you guys are watching on ProjectME TV. And I know some of you guys are visual learners too. So I know I don't need to. I want to upgrade the video quality on there. And so I got the Sony vlogging camera that my creative director, told me to get. I've been fucking around with it for a full day now. And I'm frustrated. I mean, I don't understand. The audio doesn't sound great on it. I don't get how you can connect an external mic to it. Boppity boppity beepity boo. And it would be easier for me to say, you know what, fuck it. This isn't worth it. I'll just keep this the same. But that's how I felt about TikTok. But that's how I felt about Instagram. But that's how I felt about podcasting. But that's how I felt about Pinterest. But that's how I felt about building an email list. That's how we all feel about, that's how I felt about yoga. That's how I felt about doing inner child healing work. That's how I felt about doing breath work. That's how I felt about doing somatic work. I could go on and on. That's how we all feel when we are doing something new, something different. It's going to feel hard. It's going to feel complicated. So then it can be, our ego can come in there and go, well, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll get into that next week. Do this now because you'll be able to just get it done and have it be quick. And so you just need to kind of call yourself out on it. And you don't have to test all the new things all at once. This is not an all or nothing. But what's a new format you can test? Maybe it's been one that you've been highly resistant to. Hint, hint, that's likely the one that you need to do. Most likely, it's face to camera content. That is the highest converting, period, end of story. I don't care if you don't have some dynamic, charismatic personality. I don't care if you look a hot mess. I don't care if you are conventionally attractive or conventionally not so attractive. It does not matter. That content does really well, but maybe you've been in resistance of it. Maybe you're someone who really does like to dance, or you've always wanted to even do these lip singing type reels or TikToks, but you've avoided doing that because you're like, oh my God, the people at work are going to think I'm stupid. What's my mom going to think? Oh, my friends from college are going to make fun of me and think, oh, she thinks she's an influencer now. Whatever type of content you're in resistance to, but when you watch other people doing it, you're like, God, I want to do that, or I wish I could do that, or I wish I was more of this or less of this so I could do that. That's your move. That's what you need to do. And you need to be willing to look like an ass and have it be messy and be weird in order to be good. And that's for everything. Like I still can't do a lot of things in yoga, and maybe I never will. And it also doesn't fucking matter. You don't need to be the master of all masters of something for it to be highly lucrative and to help a lot of people and to make a lot of money. I also want you to test new hook lines. The first 3 seconds of your video, whether it is an Instagram, Facebook story, whether it's a TikTok, whether it's a YouTube, whether it's an Instagram, whatever. That's it. That's where 85% of your creative bandwidth and mental energy need to go. Test new hook lines, get fresh, get creative, get inspired by blog headlines, newspaper headlines, magazine article headlines. Go on Medium and look at headlines that are not even in your industry and then make them your own. Test them out and see something that works. This is why I don't want you consuming a bunch of content of people who do a version of what you do, because then all your hook lines are going to start sounding the same. And I do trainings on this again in the posse. Do you see the theme here? Just join the damn posse. Like literally all that is in there. Every single thing I'm sharing with you now and then some is in there. And it works. And if you want to see even more reviews of the posse, there are several highlights in my Instagram highlights on it. In addition, of course, there's tons of it on the page, projectmewithtiffany.com/projectme posse. Now, we're at like that part in the membership where we're like 11 spaces away from being full. And then what happens is we'll have like 8 people join, and then there'll only be a few spaces left, or we'll have the whole thing full, but then a couple people end their memberships. Usually when people end a membership in there, it's because they're no longer doing a business. They've quit on themselves. I mean, I could read, we require a reason when people leave. This is mainly so that we can make sure we're serving you guys at your greatest. And it's typically because someone has quit on themselves and their business, or they own it and they go, I'm not showing up for myself. And I haven't for months. So my point in saying that is it fluctuates. So when you go to the page, if it says full, obviously you can't get in. If it lets you in, excellent. At the time of this recording, it might already be full, but I would not wait on getting a spot because the majority of people who are in there don't leave. It's just this, like, there's about a 20 spot fluctuation, and the rest of these people have been in there for years. So don't be like, oh, I can do this at the end of the summer. Well, do you want to have a rich bitch summer, or do you want to have a rich bitch year? Because if you're not willing to start it now and do the things now, you're not going to be starting ahead when it comes fall. You're actually going to be behind, and the money's not going to come this year. We're already halfway through the year. So I don't know what to tell you. You've got to make a move. It doesn't need to be hard. It gets to be straightforward and simple. What's hard is continuing to trying to figure this stuff out on your own and getting more and more frustrated and wasting time and like wishing and hoping it'd be different. All right, last one. Your branding. Going back to when we look at products, whether it's your favorite lotion and potion, even your favorite cereal, a favorite sauce of yours, a salad dressing, you notice on the bottles every now and again of these things, it'll say new and improved, or it'll say new formula. This isn't done because they have reinvented a whole new formula and, oh, this wasn't working, so we had to add this thing. This is pure marketing. I know because I have the privilege of being behind the scenes of multi-billion and trillion-dollar brands as a consultant. And I bring that incredible high value information to you to apply to your small business. So they do that when there's a stagnant in sales. So it's been kind of flat or it's going down and they need to get new eyes and fresh attention and fresh excitement on their stuff. And so they do new packaging. You'll see even a full rebrand. I'm going to give an example from my ass that's coming to my mind. Weight Watchers. It's WW now. Another really random. Why are these random examples coming to my mind? I don't know if any of you guys remember like the Treasure Island Hotel and Casino in Vegas. They did a rebrand where they're known as TI because Treasure Island is kind of like janky. They were, they didn't want to be known as like kind of the cheaper hotel and like the kind of silly hotel on the strip, even though there's like, a full pirate show outside. So they rebranded to TI. So doing a rebrand breathes new life into your business. And if you're not attracting the type of clients that you want to attract, your messaging is off and your branding is off. And so what do I mean by new branding? This can be as simple as a slight color change, a font change, a shift in your messaging and your topics and how you speak to people. This could be you having a new photo shoot that has a new vibe to it, a new aesthetic. But it could also be that you're like, there needs to be an actual name change. Now, I wouldn't just do this from your ass. I would make sure that you're working with someone like at my level to where you're having someone go, no, you're going to ruin your entire business by getting rid of the name. It's not the name that's the problem. It's everything around the name. That's the issue. It'd be like, can you imagine the brand like Tiffany's? Oh, we're going to change our name. No, you're not going to change your name. What you're going to do is you're going to change your branding. You're going to change in what you're putting out there. So I want you to go to a drugstore, a pharmacy, and you'll see there's products that have been around 40, 50, 60 years. And it'll say new formula, or they'll have a new version of a product. Maybe they've added a lavender oil to it. So maybe you have a program or offer or service that you can zhuzh up, right? Or you do a new release. You've even seen this with books where they do a new edition. This isn't because someone was sitting there going, oh, I really left out these chapters of this book and it's really weighing on me and I need to add it. I'm not saying that can't happen once in a while. It's to get new eyes, fresh excitement, visibility. Visibility equals sales. And that's why all that's happening. Branding is a real vibe. And if you're going, Tiff, I don't have all this money to be spending on a graphic artist, on a big elaborate photo shoot like I see you do. There is always a way. That is my phrase over here behind the scenes at ProjectME with the team. There is always a way. We always find a way. And if there's not a way, we create the motherfucking way. And so what? Do your own photo shoot. Get your partner, get a friend, get your damn iPhone. You can even take photos of yourself and get cute outfits, go to the 99-cent store, get some props. There's always a way. You just have to ask yourself a different question instead of entrapping yourself with, well, I can't do this. Well, I don't have the money for this. Well, I don't have the time for this. I don't have the luxury for this. Okay. Well, that's going to keep you in a cage. And we don't want to be in a cash cage. Okay. We want to be allowing the flow of the cash and clients to come in. So I want you to ask yourself the question, okay, yeah, I do need new branding. I do want a different aesthetic. I do want a vibe. How can I do this like on the budget where I'm currently at, or on the time that I have available where I'm currently at? We don't need to do all or nothing. You don't need to have like every single thing of yours done, right? Like when you go that far with it, you trap yourself again. But you've got to make some moves. And we have branding trainings in the posse as well. That's why I say to you, everything you need to get your business from $0 to $15,000 plus consecutive months online is in that membership. You can't say, I don't know what to do. And you certainly can't tell me that you can't find the money to join that. The annual is like $2+ a day. And then if you do month to month, I think it's $3.33. But I would do the annual for many reasons. One is you get the Nail Your Niche masterclass. You're going to stay in it a year plus anyway, so you might as well save the money. Plus, when you put a year membership down, you're saying I'm committed to showing up for my business and I'm here for the long haul. I'm not just looking for a 30, 60, 90-day special. Like I'm in it, it's happening, and let's go. So I hope that you implement these. Let me know the results that you get. You can DM me on Instagram at Project Me with Tiffany. Make sure you're following me there, over on TikTok at Project Me with Tiffany. Everything is in the show notes, linked up. Swipe up. It's all there. It's all in the description on YouTube. And let's make this summer that everything changes, and it gets to change. It can change as quick as a week for you, but not if you continue toe dipping. It's amazing when you energetically shift into full on energy and take full on action, how fast those full on results can come, as long as you're not sitting there expecting it and getting pissed that it's not there, and you release it into divine timing, and you know it's inevitable that it's going to come, because it is inevitable. It's going to come because you're showing up and doing all the things until it comes. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you.